a show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on GTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park, NV Salon, Nail Spa and Barbershop, Tisley Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.
This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition. On set with me is a female police officer, Ms. Davis. It's a great pleasure having you on set. First of all, we know this season is when the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is celebrating women in the force. 55 years since you guys broke away from the Leeward Islands, and this year it's been such a pleasure to see how women are being celebrated. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Before we go into the meat of our discourse that we're going to be having today, knowing the honor that you would have had to recently represent the territory and the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force overseas. First of all, let's talk a little bit about you, what you've been, how long you've been in the force, and what are your specialty areas.
Okay, so well, my name is Adron Grant Davis. I'm an inspector of police. Presently, I'm assigned as the staff officer to the Commissioner of the Police. My area of specialty is really family and juvenile. That's the area that deals with sexual offenses. But because of promotion issues, presently I am assigned as staff officer.
I'm wondering if you're at liberty to talk a little bit about, while being in the family department, some of the challenges you face and, how police is equipped to deal with some of those.
Well, we have ongoing training, and that is something that the police commissioner prides himself in, is to ensure that there is continuous training to keep us on par as to what our responsibilities are to the wider public, and for us to understand our duties as police officers as well. Family and juvenile, it has its challenges. When we speak of domestic violence, when we speak of sexual offenses, there's a lot of that happening within this territory. But we deal with each situation as they come, and we try to bring perpetrators before the court. We try to investigate as much as we can, bring the case files to the DPP's office where the decision is made whether to charge or not to charge. But the satisfaction is just to know that you can assist, you can help, you can bring some sort of resolve to somebody in need.
In terms of reform for a lot of persons who would have, I don't like using the word victim, but the lack thereof, is there a system of reform within the police department for persons who would have been, in those situations, not necessarily the defendant, but the...
Well, really what happens is that when we have victims of crime, we partner with agencies such as social development, family support network, and also mental health. And so continuous, continuous
collaboration
and
referrals.
Yes, that happens. And so they are given the necessary help that they need. They are counseled. And most importantly, what we tend to impress on victims is that though these things happen to you and the perpetrator might want you to feel as though you have brought this onto yourself, you are not at fault. And especially where children are concerned, because age of consent, children cannot give consent, under a certain age. And so, they tend to allow them to feel as though they have caused this to happen. And so we have to bring them away from that mindset that, listen, we are here to guide. As adults, we are entrusted with you, and we are here to guide and to ensure that you, exude your full potential. And so whatever happens is just a manifestation of minority, not the entire public, and it doesn't represent who you are as a person. It's just an eventuality that has happened, and we try our best to get that person, to that state of mind where they can, step above it and still become someone.
Most cases when we hear of especially sexual offenses, we find that most cases female are the victims. But do you find with the cases that you've come across so far a number of male being victims of?
They're males and they're females. But the stigma, men don't really report things that are happening to them, especially when they are the ones being abused, because it will hurt their masculine pride, but of course they are persons. And we have to be careful when it comes to sexual offenses, because persons tend to point fingers at persons, and so, which is why there is a group of persons who are specially chosen, to deal with such incidents. You have to have that amount of confidentiality about you. You have to be empathetic as well, and you have to understand. You have to be able to share and to bring that person from that place of low to a place of high.
Yes. Awesome. From that, I just needed to get a little bit into your brains because I've seen you in that department so often, and I didn't even realize that there was a promotion that would have taken place to move you. Glad for promotion anyhow.
Yes, indeed.
But I've seen how you would have interacted, especially with young people, whether you're in your uniform or out of uniform. You never could tell whether she's on her off day.
I know.
And that is such an admirable thing, bringing us to the point of being a female rank within the force. How do you manage? How does it make you feel? What's the relevance when compared to a male in the force?
The force is predominantly males. I think we have around 171 males compared to 85 females. So it is rough. It is rough. And, within the force, you're not referred to as a female. We're all categorized as males. And so we have to... Yes. So when...
Help me understand that part.
Okay, so it's more of a male-dominated job. And so there is no scope for looking at you more of a female. Whatever, we are all paid at the same rate. We went through the same training. We're expected to do the very same things. And so it takes tenacity, it takes bravery, to be a police officer. Because when the public out there, especially males, see a female come, they believe that, okay, we are the inferior of the sexes, and they tend to want to dominate us. But, we have to step up to the plate.
We got it, right?
Yes, we have it. We have to step up to the plate and let them understand that, yeah, I'm a female, but we can do this.
I'm an addition to male, so I am male plus because I'm female.
Exactly.
You're just male. scare me.
Exactly.
Awesome. But congratulations for the work you do along with the others. And
Thank
this
you.
is in the instance of the force recognizing females this year for the 55th anniversary.
Correct.
But prior to the celebration and honor, you were the one who was chosen to represent the territory, represent the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force at the Queen's funeral. Yes. Did you expect that selection?
No, I did not.
Ooh.
I really did not. So when the information came to the Commissioner of Police, it was that he was supposed to choose a delegation of 6 persons to go. And yes, happily, I was one of the 6 persons chosen. But thereafter, further information came to say that they can only take 1 person.
Wow.
And it's not just for the BVI, it's for all the OTs.
Oh, okay.
Right, it's not just
so it was supposed to be 6 people from
all OTs.
Each overseas territory.
Correct.
Could have sent a 6 person.
Correct.
Initially. Okay.
Initially. But it came down to each overseas territory sending only one delegate. Correct.
And when you were chosen, after 6 were identified for mayor, and then the others there were other females among the 6?
Yes, there were other females among the 6. Yes.
So tell us about that experience.
Oh my God. That is an experience that I cannot even put into words. It is something for everybody to have experienced for themselves. I know that everybody could not have been there in the physical sense, but for those who watched from, television sets and so on, of course they saw the beauty of it. History was in the making. History has been made. And I say this, I am now the Triple H person. Okay. Happy, honored, and humble.
Wow. Yes. Were there surprises? Were there surprises for you when you got there?
There weren't surprises. What surprised me was on my walk up to Buckingham Palace. The width of the road, it was so wide. And just as what we see on television, on CNN, persons gathering for days, waiting to see what's happening and so on, I saw that. I literally saw that. And as we walked up in groups, everybody cheered. Everybody cheered. It was just an uproar. And the sense of pride I felt, to know that the BVI is there. I am the person representing the BVI. I can't tell you. It's just a feeling that I just can't explain. But I'm humbled, honored, and happy.
Awesome. Were you in BVI, Royal Virgin Islands Police Force special uniform?
Yes.
Or you had to wear?
No, we had to wear our ceremonial wear. So all the OTs, we did wear our ceremonial wear. And of course, everybody was decked in their, the uniform of their country. For me, I was surprised to see how much, how fascinated, the spectators and officers, the UK officers were about us, the OT officers. Yeah. And in particular, us officers who wore white. Because when you look at it, it was only myself, BVI, Cayman Islands, and Montserrat who wore white. And there were about 10,000 officers who participated, and it was only 3 of us decked in white. So you can just imagine.
You guys were bombarded with questions and all of that as to why?
All the time, all the time. At one point when we were walking, one person shouted, so I was at the front of the line, and one person shouted, what is the difference with her? Why is she wearing white? And then the chief officer from the British Force, he said, she's representing the OTs, and there was just this uproar at that time. Yeah. And I just lift my shoulders higher. And I was was like, yes, BVI, we are here.
You said that my skin grew. And so I did not like get to see, because I was looking, knowing that you were there. I was looking at it, but did not get the moment to see you in parade.
Yes.
But was there a rehearsal time that you guys had in being part of that?
Not at all, not at all. Because I got into London Sunday morning, and when I got in, I was so tired. I was so exhausted, I just went straight to bed. I said, I have to sleep this off. And then later on, I prepared my uniform and stuff, you know, for the morning. Of course, we were in dialogue before via email, so I knew what to expect as it relates to the timing in which I would have been picked up in the morning. So I had to be up from 3 o'clock because my pickup time was 4 a.m.
Okay. That's back to training days.
Yes. Right. So there wasn't any time for that. But what got me was when I went there and how uniform and how organized everything was. I had to ask the question, the Queen just died, so how is it that everything is so organized? You know, and then I was told that this is what has been in the making for years. They have been practicing for years.
Wow.
So even now with the king having been appointed king, they have already started preparations.
For his funeral.
For his funeral.
Ooh.
That's how it is. Because with 10,000 officers, you have to get it right. And with an occasion such as a state funeral for the Queen, you must get it right. So it's a lot of preparation. But for us, we did not have to prepare. Of course, we are quite adverse, au fait, might I say, with drill. And basically, it wasn't too much of a drill for us. It was those who were participating in the procession itself.
Oh, so y'all weren't the procession? You were
No,
okay.
no. I wasn't a part of the procession. So we were put in place before the procession even began. We were there from 7 a.m. in position, and the funeral started at 11. So we had to be standing there all that time. It was an all-day standing, you know, event.
No one dropped.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How close were you able to get to basically the casket and all of that? And the family?
Might I tell you that the casket passed right by me? Because when I looked at it, I say, one representative from the BVI and the group that was chosen to go to Buckingham Palace is the group where the one representative from BVI was a part of.
Ah.
Yes.
Wow.
So everything passed right by me. Yes.
Okay. So you were there close by the governor and the premier and them?
Sadly, I did not see the governor nor the premier.
They're the all different level.
Yes.
Yes. And during the time, I'm not sure how long after the funeral you were able to stay or had the honor to be there close by. Were you able to have any close sighting or words with the new king?
Oh no. I did not. I saw him. I saw Prince Harry. I saw Meghan. I saw the king, and I also saw Princess Anne. Yes. Yes.
Your biggest takeaway from the participating there? Yes, it was a big thing because, you know, it's 70 years she reigned for, while there were so many other sides of it, whether, you know, we should be paying obeisance to the dead or not. Whether or not, what is the biggest takeaway from you having participated, having been present?
The biggest takeaway for me is The mere fact that I was given this opportunity to be a part of that auspicious moment, representing a territory, the British Virgin Islands, representing the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, I don't think anything can beat that. When I look at it and I realize that I am not a BV Islander, I am not a native. Nevertheless, I'm a part of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. I serve this territory. And with the governor and the people of the BVI saw it fit to accept me to be that person to represent them, it speaks a lot. You know, it speaks a lot. I am humbled by it.
Yeah.
I am really happy, you know, and it is something that will forever rest with me.
Okay. It speaks to the fact that, you know, while there are some side talks here and there when you hear who's from here or who's not from here, we hear the bigger voice. It says you live here, you serve here,
Yes.
and so you are one of us.
Yes.
We are all one, and
Yes.
even more. I bet you're from the Caribbean, so
Yes.
as a Caribbean people, you know,
Commonwealth.
the Commonwealth, yeah.
Yes.
We complement each other in so many ways. In terms of discipline, in terms of routines and how things are done, succession planning especially, what would you impress on the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force? Because whenever we get these experiences, there are pages that we take out of a book that can be applied to better the institution or organization we represent. So I am seeing and hearing from you discipline, succession planning, stick-to-itiveness. What aspects of those you see can be incorporated into the Royal Virgin Islands, making it an even better force?
Okay, as the Commissioner of Police, he is a stickler for training, and Mr. Mark Collins, and that is what he has been doing. We have ongoing training. Even now, we have training going on, development course for sergeants, and come next week it will be development course for inspectors. On a regular basis, we tend to have parades. Now, what I would say is that we might need somebody to go on a course that would allow them to be more versed in conducting parade, because sometimes when you look at it, we have hiccups here and there when we are at certain functions. So if it is that we continue training and open training to the physical part, where we would have to attend, you know, state funerals or big events, you know, and because of the training of the person who has gone on, you know, these, you know, trainings, then of course they can impart to us officers, you know, and we'll be more retrofitted.
Okay.
You know?
You think in the absence of a military corps that lends to that little deficiency? Because in most cases, countries that has a military body, the police force is stronger when it comes to routine parading and stuff.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think what it really needs is that we look at the broader scope and realize that we are the only military force, so to speak, and so we need to invest more, to do more to ensure that we are up for the task, whatever task it is. And so there would be continuous training within that department, and there is a special group, you know, assigned that, you know, whenever you're called upon, you are ready. You don't have to go through this long, everlasting training every day, because this is what you do. This is what you focus on. And so when that time comes, it will take almost nothing, for you to be prepared, because when I look at other forces, you have a continuous group who will focus on on certain things, and when you look at it, you have hiccups, but not so much for you to say, what are they doing? It's a minuscule amount, but I believe we're going to get it right. We intend on getting it right. We are a small force. We're a growing force, and it's trial and error, I believe. And as time goes by, we'll get it right.
Awesome. What about the drum corps? The drum corps still exists? Not sure.
It's dormant, might I say?
Okay.
Yes, it's dormant now.
I would love to see that back. A drum corps in a police force is always is a good plus, especially for parades.
Yes. I believe that some of the members, they have left since COVID and since the Hurricane Irma, and so it was just yesterday I had conversations with one of the members, and I was saying to him that you need to advertise, for other persons who wants to be a part of it and come together, because it's just more elegant when we're having a function and they're there and they're on par, and it's
something where people who are not members of the force can join the corps, or it must be officers?
No. Those who are there now, they're not members of the force.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
They're not members of the force at all.
Okay.
Yes.
I really love the drum corps.
I do myself.
We see most now is the churches have the drum corps, and I think a few schools do have, but it's good to see when the police is on parade, they have a drum corps. Well, this was a beautiful conversation.
Yes.
We came for one, we had 2, 3, 4.
I know.
But I want to once again congratulate you on the work you do as a female officer within the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, and the other women who are a part too. Thanks for adding the fee to male.
I know, yes.
Complimenting those men. Don't think that,
Yes, correct.
But continue the work you do. Continue to press forward. We know that, it's not an easy road with the police being in collaboration or at one with the community, because very often we see the police as the big stick in trying to keep you right, and so there are those people who are not very friendly to a police force, but before you became an officer you were human, and so the things that you do does have that human touch as well, and reaching out. I give you a few seconds. You can say anything it is you want to say directly to your audience.
Okay. A lot of persons comes up to me on a daily basis and say, thank you for representing us at the state funeral, even yesterday, and it gives me that euphoric, feeling. I don't think it will wear off anytime soon, and I just want to say that I am honored, I am humbled, and I'm happy. I will continue to serve. I'm happy to serve the people of the BVI, and I am just blessed to be a part of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force.
And we feel blessed to have had you here on the Big Story at the JTV, and please do convey our hearts congratulations and regards to the remainder of the force. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
joining
me.
us, and thank you for tuning in for this edition of the Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards.